Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Chris. Welcome to Date Night Perfumes. It is February the 9th. Let me see. It's February the 10th. It's February the 10th. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And even though I am not going out for Valentine's Day, I know many of you will. Other people in the audience might be doing a chill at home evening like I will be doing, but I haven't done a date night video, on date night perfumes in a long time. So I thought 'tis the season. If I worked from home, I would probably be itching to go out more often, but I do not work from home. I have a long commute, so by the time the weekend rolls around, I don't always feel like going out. I don't feel like getting dressed up and going out. I just feel like flopping my rear end at home or watching a movie. Some of my favorite recent date nights are going over to the Warenberg Cinema, where they have like the reclining couches, and just watching a movie on a Saturday night, getting beer and snacks. But tonight I'm gonna play dress up. I picked some fragrances that I would wear if I was going out and I was gonna be slightly dressed up. I would pick one of these 10 to 12 fragrances. Seeing that this is my third video of the night and it is a Friday night, I am just going to dive right in. These are in no particular order. The first one I grabbed is Musc Des Sables. This made my 22 best pickups for 2022. This is a beautiful upscale ambery musk. So it's powdery, it's musky, it's ambery. There's iris or orris in here. It's spicy, ambery, vanillic. There's definitely patchouli in here, and it is very powdery in the dry down. This kind of reads fancy, dressed up, upscale perfume. It's classic, it's luxurious, it's upscale. There's something a little seductive about it. And it has great lasting power. I've talked about it a couple times recently, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but one I definitely would wear if I was getting dressed up. The next one is a rose-centered or a rose-heavy fragrance that I haven't spoken about in a long time. It is Cairo by Penhaligon's. This is a rose-forward fragrance, but the rose has been soaking in woods and spices. It's a spicy, woody, incensey rose perfume that is just so refined and just reads upscale and fancy date night. There's saffron, incense, patchouli, and a little bit of vanilla in here, but it is just a deep, rich, incensey, woody fragrance with a dark, rich rose running throughout. It does get a little bit sweeter in the dry down. The vanilla doesn't come out until the end of the fragrance. The spices and the rose and the woodiness come out a little bit more up top, but an absolutely stunning fragrance, one of my favorite Penhaligon's, and it has great lasting power, great longevity. So that is Cairo. The next one is Argos pour Femme, which I think is completely underrated. A lot of the other Argos fragrances get more attention, and this one completely flies under the radar. This was a blind buy for me last year, and one of the very few successful blind buys that I have. I absolutely love this. This is date night, but I have worn it to work, and I think it is an upscale work perfume. It has some florals in here, there are some aromatics in here, but basically it reminds me of like if you took Mon Guerlain, Flower Bomb, and La Vie Belle and combined them together and then just made that concoction a little bit smoother and thinned out some of the sweetness. You would have Argos pour Femme. Oh my gosh, absolutely love this. I used to think it was kind of quiet wearing until I sprayed 12 to 15 times one time, wore to work. I mean, people could smell me down the hall. So if you spray like 2 to 4 times, yes, it's going to be light wearing. But if you spray more, if you're a little bit heavy on the trigger, there's a sweet spot in here. Absolutely gorgeous. This is an easy grab. This is an easy grab for date night. Very user-friendly. This definitely could be a signature scent. The only time I wouldn't wear it is in a super casual setting or if I was going to the gym. It's a little bit too fancy pants for that. Absolutely love it. And this is compliment central right here. The next one is a perfume I just talked about in my top shelf fragrances. This is called Hypnotizing Fire by The Harmonist. And this is a very complex, deep, rich, warm perfume that reads very elevated and upscale. To me, this is like a rose sangria minus the fruits, and then instead of the fruits, you add like pureed pimento. It doesn't sound appealing, But the point is in that instead of all that fruity sweetness, you have kind of a very subtle, slightly hot vegetal freshness. There's patchouli, there's vanilla, and there is incense. There's myrrh, one of the prettiest myrrh notes I've ever smelled. And oh my gosh, I want to just douse myself in this. I wore this to work a couple times. I have to. If I don't wear things to work, I'm not going to be able to test out half my fragrances. But I wore this to work and 2 people said, oh my gosh, you smell expensive. What is that? It was Hypnotizing Fire. So it's a moderate performer. I would say moderate to long performer. It's just gorgeous. I would never wear this in a casual setting. This is fancy date night, something special. I definitely would reach for Hypnotizing Fire. Okay, another one I have talked about ad nauseum. It was just also in my it was also in my top shelf fragrances. It is Black Tie by Celine. One of the most beautiful, elevated, understated, unisex vanilla. This smells so good. In my collection, this is refined, and the vanilla in here is very sweet. It's musky and it's a little bit powdery, and it's verging on being a gourmand type of vanilla, but it doesn't quite get into the foodie zone, which makes it a little bit more universally appealing and unisex in my opinion. The flower in here is orris, so it has a buttery orris in here, a little bit of oak moss in the base, not oak moss forward at all. This is just a gorgeous, understated, smooth, beautiful, elevated, elegant vanilla that's not overpowering. Look, listen, if you're looking for a powerhouse fragrance, this is not it. If you're looking for an understated, elevated, elegant vanilla that's not foodie, but it's sweet, musky, and powdery, this is hard to beat. It's absolutely gorgeous and I love it. And this would be, I would wear this in a more formal setting, my Black Tie. Okay, the next one is by an Australian house that is vegan, cruelty-free, sustainable, cleanly formulated. The House of Zimmer, I hold in my hand, Alchemy, because to me, this one reads date night. Out of all their fragrances, I would wear Alchemy kind of on a special date night fragrance. In fact, I know for Valentine's Day, what Pat and I are doing, instead of going out to a fancy dinner, he's going to make dinner for me. I'm going to pick out any recipe I want and he's going to make dinner for me. And he's done that a couple times for my birthday and I absolutely love it. It is really some of the most fun dinner nights I have. But honestly, something tells me I'm going to be wearing Alchemy. I'll probably wear it. Actually, I'm going to wear it right now. It's going to be my SOTN, my scent of the night. Seeing that it is 5:45 on a Friday night, how fun am I? This smells so good. This smells so good. It's very warm. It's ambery. It has some spices in it. There's cloves in here. It's a little bit boozy. There's tonka and a little spicy sandalwood. To me, this reminds me of Santal Complet minus those kind of fresher tropical notes. Take away the lemon, take away the coconut, concentrate that fragrance, and you will come up with Alchemy and add a little bit of clove. You'll come up with Alchemy, which is absolutely beautiful. Big ginormous bottle is around $100 to $120. This is another one I got on sale at the end of the year. Love this house, and I'm so thrilled that I discovered them last year, but a beautiful, cleanly formulated, warm, amber date night fragrance that can be worn going out or staying in. Okay, another date night fragrance. It made my top 10 for life. This, I'm a broken record again. This fragrance is so freaking beautiful. It is a Guerlain vanilla that just speaks to me. It is Cuir Beluga, and yes, that is the proper pronunciation. Somebody really took me to town in the comment section of one of my prior videos for mispronouncing it, but this is pronounced as cuir. So cuir is leather in French, and beluga is a certain type of leather, so it's a soft suede-like leather. This is a leather vanilla, but it smells more suede-like to me. It starts off with some aldehyde, so it's a little bit aldehydic, a little pop of tangerine, but then you kind of get into that beautiful, nobody does a vanilla like Guerlain. So then it moves into that Guerlain vanilla, becomes more powdery, a little bit softer. You get that warm, fuzzy, soft white suede. Just beautiful. It is quiet wearing, but it has presence. So it has a softer scent bubble, but people can smell me. And every time I wear this, somebody, including my spouse, says, wow, you smell really pretty. That is a really pretty perfume. It just makes me feel elegant and elevated and sophisticated, and I absolutely love my Cuir Beluga. One of my favorite pickups from last year was from one of my favorite house discoveries, the House of Maissa, which I have spoken about a lot recently because I love their perfumes. I love almost all their perfumes. Almost all of their perfumes speak to me. There are a few that just aren't really up my wheelhouse. They tend to be kind of stronger, oudy, more masculine leather perfumes. This one was a sneaky one. This one was a sleeper hit from last year, Ambre Millenaire. This is from their new line. They released a new line in January, and this is one from their new line. It is an amber perfume with some gourmand notes. So to me, it just reads very dressed up, very sophisticated, very upscale, very fancy, date night out or date night in. So it has a lot of gourmand notes, but it doesn't read overly gourmand. So there's a note of chocolate in here, and it's the least chocolatey chocolate perfume that I've ever smelled. I don't really get a whole lot of chocolate, but I definitely get a sweet amber with spices. It has anise in here, but it's not overly licorice because licorice isn't one of my favorite notes at all in perfumes. It definitely has patchouli in here, so there's patchouli and amber in the dry down. A little bit of ambroxan, you can definitely smell that, particularly if you are sensitive to that, and it makes it last longer, and a touch of pink pepper somewhere in the middle to give it a little bit of a punch, a pop. This is one of my very favorite from the line, and if you have been following me, you know how much I love the line. Right up at the top here, I absolutely love this. This is elevated, elegant. I've worn this to work a couple times, and it was way fancier than my casual appearance, and I remember 2 or 3 people saying, wow, you smell really pretty. What is that? So gorgeous date night fragrance that if you're a little bit dressed up and you wanna smell different and sophisticated, because this smells like nothing else I've ever tried. I don't know of any other perfume that smells like this. You wanna have people asking what you wear. It's this one right here. Another recent pickup for me, a perfume that's cleanly formulated for those of you who like clean fragrances or are always looking for clean fragrances. And this is affordable. I want to say it's around $80. This is called After Hours. This is from Antica Farmacista, and they are known for their luxury diffusers, but they do make a line of fine fragrances. I tried to buy the Discovery set that was, when I was looking, it was sold out. I guess it came back. A subscriber told me that it came back in stock and that they ordered it. This is their fancy, their date night, their upscale one. Several of them are more vacation and fun and summer and springtime fragrance. This to me is the date night fragrance. It has a lot of deeper, richer notes. So there's blackberry, there's a little bit of rose, cognac, you've got leather, amber, there's bourbon, there's creme brulee, some vanilla. I mean, there's lots of notes, but it definitely is not a foodie perfume. It does have a fruity sweetness. This is a sweet, fruity, ambery fragrance with a little bit of leather in the background and a touch of tobacco and some booziness. But very nice. The thing that surprised me was how well this lasts. This has great performance. I thought this was going to be really light wearing, lasts all day. So one of the very few all year round date night fragrances. There's something about the way this wears, and maybe it's kind of the fruitiness in here. It's not overly heavy. So I would definitely wear this in the summer. I could absolutely see me wearing this date night in the summer, and it's a perfect fragrance to wear right now. So loving my After Hours. And I realized that all of these, or most of these, were niche fragrances, and I didn't have a designer, so I went up and grabbed the fragrance to me that kind of reads date night, something I would want to wear on a va-va-va-voom date night, and it is Carolina Herrera Good Girl Supreme. This is one of those cases where I don't like to use the word hate. My mom always told me never say hate, but I do not like the original Carolina Herrera Good Girl. There is something in there that is scratchy. It gets me in the back of the throat. I do not like it at all. Maybe it's the florals and the praline or whatever. Coffee, not my cup of tea. This one is totally different. This one is a lot more pared down, a lot of the notes. They got rid of a lot of the notes. So it has this really nice fruitiness to it, and there are white florals. I want to say jasmine, but the florals are really tamed or toned down, and it's got this really fun, I want to spray this. In fact, if I hadn't just sprayed Alchemy, I would wear this for tonight. My stay at home, I'm probably going to watch a movie and chill because I'm pooped from the work week and from doing 3 videos tonight. Yeah, this smells really good. This does not smell like the original Good Girl. I love that fruitiness in here. Fruitiness, none of the scratchiness. It has white florals. Thankfully, they're not front and center. And it's got tonka beans. So it's got tonka and I want to say vetiver in the dry down because it does dry down a little bit more dry and slightly woody. But my choice for a designer Vavavoom date night would be this cute little bottle here. Good Girl Supreme. And I'm going to end the list with a cleanly formulated fragrance that is beautiful, that I never hear anyone talk about. And I would wear it on a date night because I know my picky spouse loves this. One of the very few fragrances that he stopped me as I was walking by and asked me, like, what are you wearing? You smell so good. He stopped, spun around and said, what are you wearing? You smell really good. That happens never, okay? And I got that reaction when I was wearing Dark is Night by Henry Rose, which is one of the best cleanly formulated fragrances in my opinion. This is basically a patchouli vanilla perfume. I know there are other notes in here, but it's patchouli and vanilla, and there is something about the way this is concocted that is just so attractive. And this is another Henry Rose fragrance that the magic is in the dry down. There's something about the way that this comes off the skin. And since it's cleanly formulated, one of the few fragrances that I do spray all over my skin because I don't have to worry about getting an allergic reaction to it. And also the beauty comes out when it warms up on your skin. I spray on clothes, but I absolutely spray this on my skin. It is a seductive vanilla patchouli. It's just gorgeous, has monster performance, lasts forever, like 12 solid hours. If you like vanilla, you like patchouli, you should at least try their Discovery set because this one is a banger. And I think with that, I'm going to call it a day, not only because my camera battery is telling me that I need to call it a day, but also because I am pooped and this is the third video of the day. I can't wait to get under the covers and have a date night here watching TV and just kind of chilling on this Friday night, which sometimes is my favorite date night. So thank you to all of you who stopped by. Thanks for clicking on that thumbnail to check out my video. Thanks for those of you who always support me, watch my videos, comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to me. I can't thank you enough. And with that, I will see you on the next one.